As you can see, the A400 approaches, so keep your cameras and your eyes to the skies and stand by, because they're about to jump. They want to put on a spectacle for you today, so I hope you're prepared with your cameras, and don't forget to tag the RAF Falcons on social media and send us any photos and videos. And there they go, the 2026 Royal Air Force Falcons display team. The red smoke trailing from their legs is created by small canisters attached to their boots, which were activated at the very last moment before jumping from the aircraft. We can see all 6 canopies are safely deployed as the team immediately begin maneuvering into the snake formation. For 2026, the team have been working on the dynamic routine over the winter months, and hope you enjoy the visual spectacle as much as the Falcons enjoy flying it. They've built the snake formation by turning 180 degrees back up the jump direction. As you can see, they're very close to each other, guys, which takes a lot of concentration and manoeuvrability skill. They practice and practice and practice to put on these displays for you today, so we hope that you enjoy it. Look at them go! As they're approaching the drop zone, make sure that you're cheering for them, because they can hear you, believe it or not, for our communications. They're following into the sabre chase now, so this is a quite tight formation, and as they come closer to the ground, they'll split into something called ducks, which is 2 different sabre chases, which will go left and right onto the green and orange left and right indicators, like I said before. As they come closer to the ground, they can hear you, so again, please give it up and big cheers for the RAF Falcons! As they come into the drop zone, the first is Flight Sergeant Mark Clayton, Sergeant Marcus Shields, Sergeant Jed Evans, Sergeant Luke Pease, Sergeant Matt Hyam, who Jeffrey the Giraffe is flying in with today. And last but not least, and here we go, it's coming in. Get your cameras pointed to the sky to get those pictures going. Once again, display from the 2026 Royal Air Force Falcons parachute display team. The RAF Falcons are online, so please do follow us or contact us. We'd love to see your photos and videos of the team today, and
those who are disadvantaged in our society, whether that's mental or physical disability him. I think anybody who had the honour of working with him or calling him a friend would say that his real trademark was just how generous he was, and he was very much all about other people before himself, whether that was instructing on the Typhoon or whether as a friend or engaging with people around the aviation community. He was very much about opportunity for others.
Tell me about, you're doing an auction, aren't you, this afternoon?
We are, so we can't do what we do as a RAF without the very generous support of people who financially go out there and fundraise so that we can do what we do. Our two organisations here already at Cosford who have already helped us in our journey. So down in the RAF Village, the Battle of Britain Memorial site has got a tent there, and we are auctioning a lovely print which has got our trademark display, the Lancaster Hurricane Spitfire. And we're wrapping tickets, and please, if you want to support us and have the opportunity to win that lovely painting, then please go down and pay the visit.
And how else can people find out about that?
So the trust is, we're on social media, so Facebook and Instagram, and we also have a website, www.markontrust.org. If you want to find out more about us, please do find us on the website and Facebook and follow us on our amazing journey.
With you and your colleagues on the Battle of Britain Memorial Site, it must be very important to you to keep his name alive.
Very much so. Aside from providing the opportunity and doing something that we feel passionate about, we feel equally passionate about preserving the amazing legacy of an amazing and very important.
Exactly where that is. Ask one of the members of staff around the site. Thank you very much indeed.
So I believe we end the show with a vertical climb to show the absolute performance. This is full power from the jets and full power from the piston engine.
And that is his display complete. Absolutely awesome, and easy to see why there's such in demand from airshow organisers.
drivers or pilots, they always want more power. We've taken the Lycoming engine to its limits really, and so Richard's still wanting more power. The only option was to bolt on 2 Lynx jet engines, giving combined another 700 pounds of thrust. So this aircraft has more thrust than weight, so it can climb forever, and it also has the capability of hovering. Another hovering aircraft today, but I think it's super extensive than the previous.
And we see that incredible power to weight ratio demonstrated throughout this display. Before we get the next burst of jet noise, Colin, what sort of engine controls does he have in the cockpit, given the 2 different types of power plants?
Yes, it's a hybrid aircraft indeed, so he has the main usual throttle, and at the end of the throttle, then there's just enough room to get to
It's Eagle 3, the 270 wing over. This sees the aircraft pitched 45 degrees nose up before Rusty conducts its own 180-degree wing over before it routes back towards us. The wing over being one of the most efficient ways for a helicopter to perform a U-turn at time, demonstrating the remarkable manoeuvrability of what is incredibly heavy aircraft that can weigh up to 8-10 tons. Back to the front now, we get a first close look at Eagle 3. A unique opportunity to see it close up for the first time. And now, ladies and gentlemen, a special treat, a new manoeuvre for this year. Eagle 1 and Eagle 2 will fly the most complicated profile display. Mirrored 360-degree wing over. As before, the consistency both aircraft towards 60 degrees nose up, roll to 90 degrees angle of bank. However, now the pilots look to return the aircraft back over their shoulders 360 degrees. Meanwhile, in depth, you'll have seen Eagle 3 pull a 270 wing over and opposite past the sector of the airfield, with Eagle 3, the Wildcat, closest to you as they dive down. En route to another mission. Here the Apaches would look to return fire rapidly, as quickly as possible, in order to neutralise that enemy threat. Where the other 2 aircraft are at any given time. If you look to your front now, you see Eagle 3 has arrived from the hover, and they'll set themselves up to stop the turn and rapid climb. Great opportunity to look at this aircraft up close and personal. The Wildcat is an agile helicopter with a top speed of 178 miles an hour and a range of 250 nautical miles. It's a multi-role helicopter, as shown here today. It can be fitted with the M3M50 count, which is the side of the aircraft with an effective range of 2 Ks. And this allows it to defend itself, but also conduct escort and force protection. A fast rope frame can also be fitted with a winch mounted to the top of it, allowing the Wildcat to be used to insert troops rapidly into hostile locations. There's also the MX-15 camera fitted on the nose of the aircraft, capable of thermal imaging out to 8 Ks. This can be used day and night. This ability to find with Wildcat's targeting lasers means that it's able to hand over targets to the Apaches, enabling Wildcat and Apache teaming, creating even more lethality on the battlefield. However, with no Apaches nearby, the crew are also qualified to coordinating all layers of the battle space so they can facilitate a variety of air-delivered munitions and artillery onto target. Eagle 1 is over to your right now, Eagle 2 to the left. They've also arrived into the hover, and they'll be manoeuvring in front of you at lower speeds. Again, great opportunity to see what the Apache now also has to offer. The H-64E is an attack helicopter by trade. Boasts an impressive array of weapon systems from its 30mm cannon seen on the nose of the aircraft. This is capable of firing 625 rounds per minute, or 10 per second, out to 4 Ks. You can engage targets in 2 ways, either through a combination of the optic and ballistic computing, or as the aircraft tracks through head, they're capable of engaging targets by looking through their particles in their right side. All the pilot needs to do is look at the target, use the trigger, deadly burst to 30mm cannon round to destroy that threat. If you look at the wing structure as well, they go to the circular M261 rocket pod. Now, as you can see the Blue Eagle's repositioning, you might want to get your cameras ready. Blue Eagle 3, the Wildcat, today was flown by Captain Cy Boeg, Major Calvin White, and crewed by Sergeant Danny Richmond. Blue Eagle 1 was flown today by Major Rob McCrae and Major Briggs Najjar.
Blue Eagle 2 was flown by Mr. Jim Traher, one of our ex-military Apache instructors, now employed by Boeing as civilians instructor 7th Regiment, and in the front seat crew, Captain Adam Roberts. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the 2026 Army Air Corps display team. It's not just the crews who get the aircraft here. Finally, thanks goes to you, the general public, along with all our families and friends for their constant support. Please find us on Instagram at Army Air Corps _ display team. Follow us for the full future programme. Please tag us in any photos you have of today. Any further questions about what you've seen or you wish to come and chat, please do find us at our static display as well. Thank you very much, Cosford. Have a great afternoon.
Expecting one of our classic displays next, which will be the AS-21 glider. And as we roll past the hour, we will go back to some Royal Air Force heavy metal, the shape and the sound of the Typhoon. And then we'll turn to one of our larger aircraft from the Royal Canadian Air Force. Very much looking forward to the 3 expected passes from the C-130 Hercules. And then we go back in time for that fantastic gaggle of aircraft that together form the Great War Display Team. And that's what we're looking at over the next 60 minutes or so. I think it's, I'm pleased to say the clouds does appear to be lifting. There is certainly more blue sky and grey sky, certainly compared with 2 hours ago. So a reminder to make sure that you are wearing suntan cream. Ultraviolet levels are incredibly high this time of year. So please make sure that you do have a hat on, and certainly that you have sunscreen on all those important precautions. So for many years here at Cosford we have enjoyed superb glider displays by Ian Gallagher, Gally as we know him, Chief Instructor with the Royal Air Force Gliding and Soaring Association. But Gally has given up his display seat, vacated it for 1 year, and he's in fact trying the Punt this year. That's the cone aircraft, because the display pilot this year, someone very different and very special. He is 22-year-old air recruit Bradley Leslie Kemp. Now he's currently training at Cosford, and when he can he flies with RAF Cosford Gliding Club. And in very short order, he has worked his way through basic glider flying to gain his display authorisation, and that is quite steep, believe me. If you look up your left hand side, you can see the combination running in, or maybe troughing in to start its display. This is the ASK-21 glass reinforced plastic two-seater glider. Excellent for beginner instruction, can also be used for cross-country flight. It does have quite a thick wing profile, which gives the glider very good low speed handling, with the stall down to about 35 knots. Now the stalling speed of any aircraft is important. It's basically that point where
much now a NATO task, and the F35Bs have played their part. So now if you do look again to your left-hand side, the aircraft slowing down and expecting that big door on the back of the aircraft being opening, bringing them in. Say hello and meet you. Of course, the Red Arrows can't actually operate from Cosford, so we've, well, I should say, bucked them in, we've helicoptered them in. Hopefully you've had an opportunity to have a chat and maybe a photo, and after the BBMF, I'm expecting... So the trust is, we're on social media, so Facebook, Instagram, and we also have a website, www.markonscience.org. If you want to find out more about us, please find us on the website and Facebook and college around. Thank you very much.
so Richard's still wanting more power. The only option is more thrust and weight. So it can climb forever, and it also has the capability of hovering. Another hovering aircraft today, but I think it's expensive than the previous.
And we see that incredible power-to-weight ratio demonstrated throughout this display.
The micro brewing inside the aircraft is already very unexplained.
And this is a very small aeroplane.
Star at the top of the tree. And then you'll do a spiral flat spin down, creating the trunk of the tree. If the weather and the wind doesn't blow the smoke away. Aircraft can manoeuvre.
So make sure you have your children close at hand. From the right, Royal Air Force Typhoon. He calls this the Reuben manoeuvre. Manoeuvres to fly, especially one of the harder rolls. The idea is to keep it slow and smooth. A full 360 degrees in as little distance as possible. Speed, double aileron roll. But just listen now how that's... Indeed, after that last pass, the aircraft just seems to be hanging in the air.
Rafale display pilot for the 2026 season, Capitaine Alexandre Rocco, call sign Rocky. He's an instructor on Escadron de Transformation Rafale, or ETR 34. Now at some 350 knots. 1.5 rolls to and it demonstrates so well the sort of surging performance the Rafale enjoys from the two Snecma M88-2 turbofan engines, which with reheated gauge produce some 17,000 pounds of thrust each. The Egypt pace that I was referring to was all 1.5 rolls followed by a slow roll, then 2 more rolls. The Rafale operational in the air-to-air, the conventional and nuclear attack roles, as well as a reconnaissance and anti-shipping platform. Retracting the gear. Stunning paint scheme for this year's solo display Rafale.
Here they come, the 2026 Royal Air Force Aerobatic Team, the Red Arrows. As the team heads skyward, you'll see them change formation into 7 Arrow. Reaching the top of the loop on this beautiful day, they're approximately a mile high at 6,000 feet. Slowing to 120 miles an hour, they'll get their first chance to look back at all of us watching. Leading the formation as it twists to the right. As the smoke comes back on and the jets sweep in from the right-hand side, the aim of the first half is to have all aircraft fly as one. They do this by listening to the commands from the team leader. On the left-hand side is Flight Lieutenant Andy McEwen, that represents an iconic aircraft that first flew commercially 50 years ago. As the aircraft roll out towards us, look for the shape of Concorde. As they fly into the vertical, the pilots are experiencing 4D. The aircraft will also change shape into E.
side with creamy smoking blue, dusty smoking red in the rolls matched. Keep watching with the colour changes that come round to the right. Synchro, head out to the front. Keep your eyes out to the right-hand side. You're looking for reds 1, 2, 3, and 5. You'll see them appear behind the tree line in line astern. It's a tricky manoeuvre. Reds 2 and 3 are sandwiched in between the boss and red 5. This takes a huge amount of trust and skill and execution. Dusty at the back of the aircraft, the 4 aircraft there is looking all the way through. As the 4 jets disappear to our left, look directly to the front. Service in the military is incredibly rewarding but also demanding. None of us could do our jobs effectively without our families, friends and loved ones. This heart is to recognise their dedication and thank you for their continued support. I'd also like to take the opportunity today to dedicate the heart to Lisa from her son in looking out the top of the canopy. Picking this big blue hole to set up for the vertical brake. cheers appear from through the cloud for the vert break. And stop his roll before reversing it for Sidewinder. See Red 6 and 7 running in for the left-hand side, accelerating up to 460 miles an hour down to 100 feet down the line. Out to the right-hand side, you'll have Reds 1 to 5 setting up for the Goose. The team will pull up into loop in front of us before departing over our heads, and we hope you agree this provides an awesome spectacle to finish the show. On behalf of myself, the Red Arrows and the Royal Air Force, we hope you enjoyed the show, and we'd like to thank you for coming out today, supporting these events and appreciating how amazing aviation is. We always love seeing your pictures, so please do link us in anything you put on social media using the hashtag Red Arrows. As the team accelerate down towards us, please put your hands together and make some noise for the 2026 Red Arrows.
Over in France that does parachute drops regularly. It also puts the tail surfaces in a propeller wash, which helps allow single engine takeoffs should they be necessary, even from unprepared strips. And crucially, the crew have got excellent visibility from the cockpit. They're sitting well in front of the engines. And when you compare this to the smaller forward air control and battlefield reconnaissance aircraft the US military had operated before that, the advantages are just so numerous. It's much faster, so it can reach its operating areas much more quickly. It can cruise at higher altitudes, out of small arms fire range.
And that Flak 360 we saw close to the sea could call up firepower from ships offshore. In addition, of course, it could also carry out its own ground attack.
Yes, and all of this was brought to bear in Vietnam attack function.
Whereas this aircraft very much in its training colours, this is of course the Jet Provost. This one is a Jet Provost Mark V.
Here, a very rare survivor.
And indeed, it's at the Conservation Centre at the moment.
Yes.
Display a few years ago.
Anniversary lineup, right, yeah.
That looked very good. So, of course, started off with the T1 Jet Provost. That was really a kind of development, and it was by most students, I think. The seating on this aircraft is side by side, kind of like as you are in your car, as opposed to what we call tandem, one behind the other. And anyone who has either trained on this or been an instructor on this has their own opinion on what is better. Certainly, if you're side by side, you cannot fool the instructor at all.
The earliest Jet Provosts weren't the highest powered, but then further developed versions of the Rolls-Royce Viper engine, a very successful engine in its own right, which started life as an engine to power pilotless target drones, came along, and one result of that was the Mark V, like you see here.
shows the good with pressurised plastic with a take place at higher altitudes. Also, it has strengthened the wings. And we mentioned earlier about C-17 Globemaster. See, this is the aircraft specially painted to mark the 25th anniversary of the Globemaster in RAF service.
Roger, I will request a starter through for you. Request POB.
As they run in for a crossing break.
so crucial to us here at home. Aviators and engineers at work. The team is made up of volunteers on Royal Navy Black Cap.
The tortuous flying characteristics were so important, and they still had 4 hours of endurance when operating from those vessels. Swordfish in total sank 21 German U-boats during wartime, mainly escorting the Arctic convoys to North Russia. It wasn't until August 1944 that the final Swordfish was not quite at that functioning, but I guess the aircraft's over for a short tour. It's going to be going to Lincoln Aviation Heritage Centre tomorrow. It's going to be spending some time at its birthplace, the Avro Factory Airfield Regime, which is now the Bradford Airport. It's going to spend some time at Bristol, the home of the real aeroplane company.
You can now see the Chinook Mark 6 Alpha approaching from crowd left. Underslung beneath the aircraft is a 105mm L118 light gun and a Pinsgauer gun tractor, occupying 2 of the aircraft's 3 external cargo hooks. With a combined weight of 5 tons, this constitutes less than half of the aircraft's maximum payload, which can comprise a variety of configurations, including ISO containers, armoured vehicles, or even every aircraft in the Army Air Corps display team. At the controls today is Royal Demo Captain Matt World, better known as Whirly to his friends, both of whom are here today. In the co-pilot seat is Flight Lieutenant Sam Soroya. Sam joined 18th Operations Officer. Stretch couldn't resist the call of flying, joining 18th Squadron as a qualified crewman in 2023. The crew must balance speed with smooth handling to get the gun safely and accurately into position. Operating the Chinook efficiently requires all 4 members of the crew to work together seamlessly as the rear crew marshal the aircraft precisely and efficiently into position over the intercom. This process requires trust, skill, and years of experience to perfect, as well as the ability to count backwards from 10, a high-function skill for a Chinook crewman. With the external load unload complete, Whirly clears the landing site with a max performance takeoff, building speed as quickly as possible to minimize the threat of enemy fire. The Chinook's 2 powerful Honeywell engines and tandem rotor design enable it to climb or accelerate very quickly to a maximum speed of 160 knots or 185 miles per hour. He stays low to avoid detection by enemy sensors and to make it harder for conventional weapons to take an accurate shot at the aircraft. With the aircraft clear of the landing site, the 7-power team rapidly de-rig the gun and Pinsgauer in preparation for firing. Out to the left now, Whirly will reposition the aircraft with a wing over. Chinook must be flown dynamically. As the #1 crewman at the rear of the aircraft, Cammy is responsible for defending the tail with the M60, monitoring of aircraft mechanical systems, maintaining lookout for enemy forces, and marshalling of external loads, as well as ensuring terrain to land on the aft wheel at speed like a fixed-wing aeroplane, conserving energy to get the aircraft safely onto the ground when engine output is limited. Whirly conserves airspeed for as long as he can, flaring the aircraft to cushion it onto the ground at a maximum speed of 60 knots or 70 miles per hour. Safely on the runway, Whirly uses the unique aerodynamic qualities of the Chinook to balance on its aft wheels. This technique can also be used to land on steep slopes or ledges where the rear of the aircraft is landed while the front of the aircraft is still in flight. And now for another Chinook party trick, the reverse taxi and takeoff. A useful capability when space for parking is tight or when the aircraft's downwash threatens nearby vehicles or equipment. But mostly, we like to do it